Hello and welcome back to Can You Survive the Hunter's Moon? We are moments away from attending our very first tribal council of the game, where one player is about to be voted out first of Can You Survive the Hunter's Moon. Behind me is Machias getting ready to head on into tribal council for the very first time as a tribe. So let's council and our players will be filing in shortly.
Machias, coming into tribal council.
And here's our fabulous tribal setting. All right, and in they come. We have Brad, Fraser, Tyler, Colt, Alex, Bergen, and BJ. Machias tribe heading on in for the first time, trying to figure out what they might do with their flag. Everyone getting settled on in for the first time and taking in the tribal council surroundings.
Machias, welcome to tribal council. This is the very first Hunter's Moon. Let's start with yesterday's amazing race. Brad, your team won, so that means you are immune for the round. How do you feel, and what do you think helped your team win this the amazing race yesterday?
Wow, thank you. How I feel, I feel a little less nervous, knowing that I have immunity at this tribal. Like, I really pushed myself yesterday. There was a lot of running and stuff, not my strong suit, admittedly. But my two teammates that I had, Brian and Brianna, were pushing me along. They were motivating me, and they didn't make me feel bad like I was holding the team back, because there was multi tiers to the challenge that later on I actually excelled at and helped us move forward. So it was pretty cool. When we took off at the sprint, I was like one of the last people. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be brutal. But I was excited, and now it definitely seems worth it, that we're able to accomplish that goal. So I was pretty pumped about that.
And on the opposite side of the coin, BJ, you lose your vote for this tribal.
I do. Yes.
Yeah. How has conversations been? Strategizing. Is it hard? Is it easy? What is it like for you talking with your tribe without a vote?
For me, for one of those things, and I'm noticing and talking to some of my teammates here too, is just thinking about that's one of our main concerns right now, is how can we communicate better as a team. I come from a very large background of sports where I've been taught to just listen to one coach, and I'm realizing too, and this has been a disadvantage for me, is that I'm so used to that I haven't been able to take myself out of that to be more mindful, to listen to all the voices that are trying to give me advice. So I think that hopefully, if I am still in the game, is that's our strategy going into it, moving this way forward. And I'm thinking about the amazing race yesterday too, is just like finding ways that we can effectively communicate, to be more solution focused in achieving these challenges. So that's a big thing.
Touching on communication, today's challenge, it looked like there was a lot of people talking from the outside. Puzzle players that were working on the puzzle had to kind of stop and listen. Was that part of the strategy to kind of dump all the information, or was that easier, difficult to do? Bergen, how was it working on the puzzle with all that communication happening?
I think it was difficult, but I also think that we knew going into the puzzle that we were really far behind. So we were just trying our best to catch up at that point. We just tried to stay calm. That was our main goal. Even if we were in the lead going into the puzzle, right? Stay calm, communicate effectively, and try and solve it. That puzzle was very hard. So kudos to the other teams. They smashed it. But just echoing on BJ's point, like, communication is our weak point right now. Like, we saw it last night in both rounds of that challenge, and even in this challenge a little bit. So we do need to figure out how to bring that together, because we need to win we need to win this next round.
We will hunting party twist, Cult. Yep. Those three people, there were two people that you were with yesterday. on your two separate tribes. And now you're kind of all intertwined. If you make it to the merge together, you get an advantage. If you all get voted out, you don't come back. Does that affect how you vote now, and how does that affect your long-term game as well?
It's the kind of twist that really is not even in your control at this point. All you can do is hope for what you developed with your partners. My partners, Amanda and Fern, really strong, really sociable, great communication. That's how we worked. I don't know if that's what's going on their tribes. So I can only hope that whatever's happening on my end of things is in my control. And if we end up in a situation where we're all together, great. And if we end up all out, not so good. But either way, I know what I know about them, and if I see what they're capable of, then they could be in great spots right now.
Let's talk about the market yesterday. You guys got to go to the market with 4 points. What did you buy? Was it useful? Were you able to use anything? Yes, Fraser, go right ahead.
Yeah, sure. BJ and I went to the market. We had limited resources. 4 humble points after the point clarification, which was disappointing.
Yes.
No pun intended.
So we had to decide, what do we do with 4 points? We thought rice at the end of the day. We could maybe try to boil water in a water bottle or some other way. It seemed like that was the best piece there. You know, a tarp, questionable, a rope, questionable, hatchet, useful, but everyone would like to have a little thing in their belly at some point. So that's the decision we made, and we're still working on that one.
So you have raw rice in your bellies or nothing in your bellies at this point?
Nothing.
Just raw rice. Gotcha. Yeah. Alex, talking about last night, like I said before the first challenge, 38 degrees to get down to, we think. That was what our watches and apps and phones were saying. How was camp life? Did you guys get that fire going all night? Were you able to sleep, get a little bit of rest before this morning?
I mean, we had a really good system going for fire. You started the fire, and then we also kind of like little turns here and there to like keep the fire going. I had the first time like kind of relighting the fire almost. That was cool. But I do think like towards the middle of the night I was cold and I woke up from just like shivering, and I had to like get up and just like I guess talk to people and then sit really close to the fire and then try again. And it was hard. So, yeah,
that's tough. The elements are definitely hard out here.
I also don't think I packed the right. I didn't have gloves. I don't have like good socks. So yeah.
Just this morning, I've had 3 seasons in about 2 or 3 hours, so it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Welcome to Maine, friends.
Yeah. Tyler, the new advantage of the new fundraising twist, has that had any conversation within your tribe about how this vote's going to go and if there's a contingency plan on if the person voted out comes back?
Yeah, I would say that it 100% played in all of our minds just from the conversations that we had. And there was, talk about how does that affect voting? How does that affect the outcome of the voting? Because then say you vote out the person that did fundraise the most, then you have to go back in. So then what are you doing for plan B? And I think, we kind of all talked it out. We kind of have it settled. But I don't want to give away anyone's strategy with their votes or anything like that, or just in terms of how it's going to play out, because I don't know how it's going to play out. So, but I would say that it did play a pretty good role in the decision process of today.
Okay, thank you. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested, show of hands. This is the first tribal. Other than Brad, who feels safe right now?
Good job. That was good.
Good job. That was great communication.
We're already improving. We're up. It's only up from here.
Silent communication. That's it.
Okay. No talking next challenge.
Just don't speak. Just shut up.
Anything else to add?
Whatever happens, I just want to let you know we haven't known each other very long, but I'm really happy that I get to meet all of you. So.
We've been bonding.
Yeah.
Food.
Well, we had that visitor last night, and we all had.
Yes, we did have a visitor last night, but it was fine. We had a great bonding time for the first night. Yeah.
At the end of the day, we all really do love each other in
Yeah.
such a short amount of time, and that's what these games are great for.
Yep.
You got nothing but each other out there. You draw real connections. So this kind of stuff, even if it's a couple hours after you first got here, is really hard. So.
Yes,
Yep.
not an easy decision by
here.
any means.
And no matter who teammates we lose or anything, I just have faith in this team that we can bounce back.
For sure.
So we're going to take this as a learning lesson and move forward and kick some ass.
Yeah. Let's do it.
And with that, I think it is time to vote. Alex, you can start. Head on down to the voting booth.
All
And,
right.
There's no talk.
Going to head away as the stream because it is now time for one of my favorite times, which is tea time. So for those of you that are new here, this is when we step away. The voters as each other, so nothing interesting is going on back at Tribal, which means that we get to step away, and out of earshot of all the players, I get to fill you in on everything I heard from all the confessionals and give you all the tea so that we can try and figure out like who might be going home. So it's gonna be really fun and I'm super excited. So I have my little tea notebook and away we go behind this barn. So yay. Oh my God, flipping to page 1. Let's go. So again, we just saw Machias, the Green Tribe, enter Tribal Council and participate for the first time, which consists of Alex, Bergen, BJ, Brad, Fraser, Culp, and Tyler. And so let's first quickly talk about kind of the immunities and advantages, because that was discussed in there, but like, let me catch you up. So basically, yesterday in the Amazing Race, Brad's hunting party team came in first, which means Brad is completely immune at this tribal, cannot be voted for. And on the flip side, BJ, whose team came in last, cannot vote at this tribal. She has lost her vote. That was the consequence of coming in last out of 7 teams. So she does not have a vote. And so as you might imagine, that's probably impacting people's perceptions. So, all right, let's get into it. As of last night and coming again into this morning, we've seen a tight 3 form consisting of Bergen, Culp, and Tyler. So they all felt super good about each other. They wanted to play together. And of course, 3 in a 7 does not equal a majority. So they have pulled in Alex as a potential 4th. According to Culp, Alex is like the 4th. According to Culp, these are the 4 that are playing Survivor, got their head in the game, or thinking ahead. And his perception is that the other 3, Brad, Fraser, and BJ, are not really playing Survivor. They're like out here to vibe and, and like participate for charity, which is a really funny read because Tyler has actually never even watched Survivor before. So for her to like be so in it already is like pretty amazing, considering that Culp's like, oh, she's in this, like she's playing. And consequently, Fraser actually hosts his own Survivor game. So Fraser is very much in tune with Survivor, and Culp is just thinking that like he's not in it at all. So it's like, it's pretty funny to know that. Speaking of Tyler, who has not played Survivor, I'm told that she's managing one-on-one relationships really well. Alex knows that he's kind of on the bottom of that 4. Tyler and Bergen have both said like, we need a 4th, and like TBD if it's going to be Alex or not. It like is for now, but we'll see. And I think Alex has really picked up on that vibe from kind of that 4, and like knows he would be on the bottom of that 4. And he went to Tyler looking for reassurance. And she apparently like managed it really well and like gave him reassurance without him even asking. So props to her for handling this and like having that like finesse of social situations. It's like pretty fun to watch. Popping on over to the Bergen side of that triangle. Shout out to the Tanagram last night, and let's never discuss big triangles and little triangles again. But Bergen apparently felt so safe with Culp and Tyler that he just went searching for idols all night, apparently, by himself. We didn't hear about that at Tribal, and it was interesting because Alex talked about like waking up from the cold and sitting around the fire and talking to people. So I wonder if he noticed that Bergen was like consistently away from camp. What the players do not know is that there are actually no like immunity idol is like hidden anywhere at this stage in the game. Like nothing is out there, so Bergen would never have found anything because there was nothing to find. Speaking of Bergen, Culp feels the best about him, and it appears to like kind of the rest of the tribe that Bergen and Culp are like a tight two. And so, yes. And someone that particularly has realized that is Alex. So Alex knows that like if BJ had her vote, he would be kind of in the middle of that one triangle of Bergen, Culp, and Tyler, and another triangle is loose, another grouping of people of BJ, Fraser, and Brad. And he actually feels better about that group. He vibes with them more and feels closer to them. But basically, Alex is like, wow, it's round one and I already have to make a decision because BJ doesn't have a vote. Alex is either going to have to side with BJ, Fraser, and Brad to tie a vote because it would only be 3 votes on that side, and tie against Bergen, Culp, and Tyler, and so like show his hand immediately and maybe all for nothing, or he'll have to go with like a majority that he knows he's on the bottom of, just to make sure that rocks don't happen, like that a tie situation doesn't happen. So he has already, it's literally round one, and he has a huge decision to make that can be pretty game impactful, which is pretty wild. So yeah, Alex has quite the decision to make. And Alex, let's see. So let's talk about the others. So Fraser is feeling really good about Alex and Brad, which is fun. Sorry. And Brad is just kind of feeling kumbaya. He's like the kumbaya guy of the tribe. He's safe. He's like super grateful for the immunity. He apparently came into the game thinking he would be first boot. And now that he obviously cannot be, he's glad to kind of have that time to find his footing in the tribe a little bit. But again, he's not like feeling a certain type of way about any particular person. He's just like, vibes are high, like I love everyone. This is a great, tribe, and hopefully like this vote will kind of like unite us all. So we shall see. So BJ again has no vote. And she has said, you kind of heard it touched on with tribal council, but BJ kind of was like in her commercial was like, hey, like if it's best for the tribe for me to go, like I'll go and there'll be no hard feelings. You saw a lot of that like good sportsmanship being like, let's go, and if it's me, that's okay, but I hope that we like kick ass and come back from that. So she's kind of like preparing herself in case it's her, and I love her attitude about that. And eyes are, of course, with that group of 4 of Bergen, Culp, Tyler, and Alex. With Brad being immune, really the only choices for that grouping would be either Fraser or BJ. So those are the 2 that are being looked at. However, BJ was talking yesterday about how she did an MMA fight specifically to raise money for this event, and all of the proceeds from her MMA fight went to her. So everyone is kind of worried about that as a fundraising advantage, and they think that she might have it. And so everyone's kind of like, oh, maybe it'll be BJ, maybe it'll be Fraser. They're kind of looking at like potentially let's go BJ and backup plan Fraser. So it'll be interesting to see who ends up going. I think that's all I've got for y'all as of right now. So I will head on back because it sounds like the players are almost done voting. So we're about to find out what's going to happen. So this should be fun. Yeah. Okay. I think they're telling us, sorry. So the top fundraisers have not been shared with anyone. The players don't know, you viewers don't know, because it's essentially like a super idol situation where they'll find out if they raise the most money, like as they're getting voted out. And in the case of that, there would be an immediate revote. So, great question. Alan? All right, we're just heading on back into tribal council because we're going to catch up with our players now. Hang on. All right, and we are back.
Votes. First vote. Second vote, BJ. Third vote, BJ. Now for the last, BJ, you did you could head over there and we'll wait for the next
BJ,
challenge.
we're still live, so we're going to be catching up with BJ. Hi. Yeah, sorry, y'all. It was cutting out for a second. I think that's a little bit of a dead zone, so we might adjust.
Oh, that's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
BJ, we are live right now. We're going to go a little further this way, and we'll catch up with you and get your thoughts, because the viewers want to hear what you have to say.
My thoughts is that I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in some of the connections that I thought I made, and team building that I thought I made with other players and things like that, and game plans and so forth. So yeah, I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed. That's all I can say.
Of course. And thankfully, your time in the game is not over yet. You get to make your way to the hunting grounds. So this is not the last we will see of you. Potential to get back in the game. And, you did, while you are voted out of the game, sorry. While you were voted out of the game just now, you did spend an entire, very full day yesterday and night out here. So there is a lot to be proud of about your time out here. You did a lot in 24 hours that I don't think most people do in a year. So is there any maybe like moment you're most proud of about yourself, about your time out here?
Not being a little bitch like some people are.
Well, there you go. And was there a moment that maybe was like fun to you or something you particularly enjoyed
the
the most?
campfire was fun. Just getting to know my teammates, which now I'm questioning that a little bit. Yeah, it was neat.
All right, and before I let you go, you were playing for a very worthy cause.
It was, yeah.
That is super local to Maine. So
Yeah,
let's
well,
go
actually,
ahead.
no, we're nationwide and across the country. So yeah, just an adult type 1 diabetes camp that we were going to get the fundraising to go bring it back to Maine, because we need a lot of people in the community and things like that. So that's okay though. I'm involved in many other charity efforts, and we'll just focus on those ones instead of this.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to hand you off to your tribe your handler,
Perfect.
Ale, and we will see you a little later today.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, BJ. All right. Let's flip y'all around towards me for just a second. Hello. Sorry, there was a weird dead zone like right where we were reading votes. So we're going to adjust that for future tribal councils so that you guys actually get all of the action. BJ was just voted out unanimously. There was no vote for anyone else because BJ lost her vote, and she did not raise the most money, which means that she was not suddenly immune. And BJ, fun fact, has actually been involved in a lot of charitable causes, which she mentioned briefly on stream. She's actually doing tons of different fundraisers like all year. It's like her year of nonprofit charity. So it's like really cool that this is like one stop on her like grand tour of raising money for important nonprofits. So we love that. And again, she had a great attitude throughout, and so we love to see it. She's going to be heading on down to the hunting grounds because she has not been eliminated from the game just yet. Players that are voted out today will go to the hunting grounds, and they will await future vote outs. If their hunting party, which was their amazing race team, is still in the game come merge, they will have an opportunity to get back in the game. But if their entire hunting party gets eliminated, then they are all eliminated from contention. Someone wants a hunting grounds tour? Absolutely. So we'll give you guys some little camp tours later on today or tomorrow. So yeah. Oh, one last note from tea time that I did not get to talk about. Everyone kind of was like mentioning communication and like this and that, and I saw like during the challenge there was almost like over communication to where like there were too many cooks in the kitchen. Someone would be like stopping when they did that challenge to like listen to what everyone else had to say. So I don't know if maybe that's what they were talking about when they were like, oh look, when we're silent, like we all communicated no. So it'll be interesting to see if they kind of adjust their strategy and future challenges. And yeah, so yeah, I think that's all I've got for y'all right now. Thank you for the questions. Keep them coming. We'll do this every tribal council. So we'll step away. This is your time and my time and our time together to be able to chit chat about what's going on in the game. So, and speaking of the game, we already have our next immunity challenge that is set up. So we should be back in the next, I want to say 5 to 10, I'm going to say 10 minutes. So we should be back here in 10 minutes for the next tribe challenge, which is going to be a really fun one for us. Maybe not so much fun for the players. I can't wait. All right, so we'll see you here in about 10 minutes. Bye, y'all.